My name is Dave Clifford, you're watching Live Prog, and I would like to point out later this year we have the new Red Jasper album, The Great and Secret Show. Make sure that you go to redjasperband.com for more info and get it. We really want your money.
It is time for another chapter in the history of Red Jasper, and the chapter is called Action Replay.
Every night I begin to lose the fight, yeah. 24 hours, 24 days, it's all the same to me. Lost a sense of space and place, time means nothing to me.
Now, you're not seeing double, I have two of them. And the shiny one, this one is the new one, and this is the original one. If I turn them around, you can see there's a difference. The track listing of both albums is the same, with the exception that this one is not available anymore. This one is. It's remastered, everything polished up, and, well, you can buy it at your local store. The track listings are identical on these. Now, this is the first and so far the only live album the band released. Recorded at The Fleece in Bristol in 1992. And this is for several reasons a very important release. Looking at the history, the band had two albums out. England's Green and Pleasant Land and Sting in the Tail. And the EP Pull That Thumb off the top of your head. Now, of course, of these three albums, several songs have been included. But there's more. There are a couple of songs, and quite a few actually, that I haven't seen on any other release. Which is very interesting because you can see that the band kept on writing material that not all of it has been released on album. So for that reason alone, this album is very important because, well, this is the only documented copy of it. Songs like Hostage to Fortune, Go For It, World Turned Upside Down, but also Crawling Into Work, and especially the intro by Davy Dodds for that song. And there you can see that, you know, the protest element in Red Jasper was still there. After this album, it really would kind of move away out of the picture, this whole idea, and it would make place for real more fantasy and elves and pixies and those kind of things. The folky parts stayed. Now these are also present on this album. The reason why this is an important album is that this release made it possible for Red Jasper to sign a deal with SI Music. Now, back in the 90s, SI Music was a big label. It was the most important prog label there was, and it was around the time that I discovered prog, and for me, SI Music was the very first acquaintance with progressive rock. So, and they were very big those days because they had a label, they did distribution, they had a festival, and they had a magazine. And the final reason why this is an important album is there are two tracks on this album that you would also see returning on future Red Jasper albums. Because track number 11, The Shaman's Song, is a track that would later appear in its definitive version on The Winter Tale. And I gotta say, that is one of my favorite tracks of that album, so I'm very happy to hear a rough version of that already on this one.
Tell me what gifts would you ask of me? I can bring you all that you need. I can keep you safe in the long darkness.
And another track number 14, King of the Fairies. When I was listening to that, it's like, I know that song. That was the very first song of the band Red Jasper I ever heard. It was on an SI compilation disc. It's a song that would later appear on the Midnight Summer's Dream album called Invitation to Dance. But here it's called The King of the Fairies. And here it's a fully instrumental song, while the definitive version that will later appear would also have vocals in it. you see the band moving towards a certain direction. They, on one side, they still have the aggressiveness, the protest part in it, maybe even a little bit of punk in them, but they are already moving towards a really nice blend of progressive rock and folk music. And later on, well, we would come to the point where I personally discovered Red Jasper, and the albums I love so much and are very dear to me, but I'm really happy that they are releasing this as part of their history. So that, you know, if you're interested in the band and you want to know more about them, you want to hear more music of them, I can certainly recommend that you listen especially to this one. Maybe the older material is a little bit too, well, protesty, I don't know how you call it, but not proggy enough for you, that's possible. But this one is already a very good step in the right direction, very good songs on them, still a bit of aggressiveness and a bit of protest, a bit of fun as well, a lot of flute already, mandolin, you know, the trademarks of Davy Dodds, the fantastic vocals and an amazing band. The lineup of this band, that's the last thing I'm going to say about it, was nearly complete. Lloyd George played on this album, but at this moment he was a guest, and later on he would join the band, and well, we would get the Red Jasper that probably most people know. But for now, I'd say dig into some more history of Red Jasper and listen to Action Replay.
Isn't it cool to be crazy? Isn't it cool to be crazy?